Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video, and this is going to be a collection video and a sort of video response, so to speak. Feel free to have a go yourself if you like, and this is going on the back of over the past couple of months. It seems to be somewhat of a shoot 'em up craziness, frenziness, so I figured, you know what, bit of fun, show some of the games that I've got in my collection. And Mark Horsburgh, he did a two-parter not too long ago showing the games that he had in his collection. Some great games he's got there, and couple that I'd love to own myself, but as he mentioned in his video, they do go for silly money on eBay. But if all goes well, hopefully early next year I will be getting them. And Cojones Delora, he's also focusing on his on the shoot 'em ups for his Japanese Sega Saturn. And also, I hope I get your name right, mate, Gruss Newton, he not so long ago picked up a Japanese Sega Saturn, and again focusing on the shoot 'em ups. And not forgetting Mix36, who does his regular monthly shoot 'em ups videos. So, and a couple others I believe, off the top of my head I have forgotten. But yeah, it seems to be a sort of craziness for shoot 'em ups lately, and rightly so. For me personally, it's my favourite genre, going way back to the Atari 2600 days. Probably mentioned it in my previous videos. Battlestar Galactica, the original series, being my favourite show back then. Also Star Wars, roughly at the same time. We got our 2600. Came along with two games, Combat and Space Invaders. And of course, Space Invaders was the first game that I ever played. And since then, my love for shoot 'em ups has just grown from there. And games like Asteroids, Moon Patrol, one of my favourites, Phoenix, Super Cobra. I just love the genre, just passionate for them. And my second being platformers. I do like my platformers, and third place would be my RPGs. I do like my RPGs. Never been a big beat 'em up fan. I do like the side-scrolling beat 'em ups, but one-on-one beat 'em ups, not really big on them, and in all honesty I am pretty shit at them anyway. So racing games, apart from a few, the likes of Chase HQ, Outrun, WC Le Mans, this game I used to like playing, two of them actually by Konami. One was Konami's GT, and also Hot Chase in the arcade back in the day. Other than that, I'm not really into my races. And of course sports games, apart from special events like the World Cup, Euro and Olympics, where we all join in for a bit of fun. Again, not really into my sports games. Shoot 'em ups, without a doubt, my favourite genre. I just love them to bits. And so yeah, so quite a bit to show you guys. Where there's screenshots on the back of the boxes, I will show you them, and if I can, may even try and put a couple of footages in there, because there's a lot to show you guys. If I was to do it on all of them, this video would go on forever. Starting from the MSX, the Famicom, the Super Nintendo, the Mega Drive, PC Engine, one Sega Saturn, right up to the Xbox 360, and I think there's even a couple of Game Boys up through in there, just for good measure. So yeah. So firstly, beverage for today's episode. Excuse me, tea. So yeah, so just gonna sort of rearrange all this, and I'll be right back. Right then, so on to the MSX, and I may have to do the occasional cut because I'm still having issues with my camera. But while it's still working, I'm going to make the most of it. So, and also, anyone has noticed behind me that the PC Engine games are no longer there, and the reason for that, and the culprit behind that, is of course our newest member of the family, Apollo, and the adventurous little bugger he is. He climbed up to the top, and of course brought the whole thing down, and I've had to move my PC Engine games elsewhere. Luckily nothing was damaged, just I think one of them had a cracked case, but it was easily replaceable. So yeah, so hopefully I'm going to get another one and put them back up. So on to the MSX, and first up, they're in no particular order. A game that I showed just a moment ago on the Atari 2600, and that is Super Cobra. Konami's own clone, so to speak, of Scramble. Fantastic little port it is. Next up, where it all began, Twin B. Next up, Salamander. A fantastic game on the MSX, not exactly arcade perfect, but still a two-player game, and a good one it is too. One that I showed in my previous video, gameplay footage of, Parodius on the MSX. Even a loose cartridge of this goes for silly money on eBay. I've seen it go for about 40 to 60 pounds. A box copy will set you back 100, 120, if not more. So on to the box cartridges. First up, Nemesis, Gradius, however you want to call it. There is some screenshots on the back. It's a fantastic port of the arcade. Excellent it is too. Just put it down here. Next up we have Gradius 2. Not the again, not an arcade port. Completely different game. Fantastic, excellent soundtrack. And probably I personally feel I find it the hardest in the series. I do believe it's 6 or 7 stages, and then when you get to the end, you have to do all these stages again backwards. So a tough game, but fantastic it is, and it's got an excellent soundtrack. Nemesis 3, again, not the arcade version, but it has some similarities, but a different game really, but a fantastic game. Again, it's got an excellent soundtrack due to the enhanced sound chip that's got built into the cartridge itself. So next up, staying on to the MSX, we've got R-Type. Sorry about the glare there. Got some screenshots in the back. It's not a bad port. It's a little jerky. I do believe there's a special cartridge. I don't know if it improves the sound or the actual gameplay itself. But yeah, great port of the arcade. Next up we have 1942. And screenshots on the back. Now I do believe this could be the no, there is an MSX2 version. This is of course the MSX1 version. And finally on the MSX, Super Ladog. Vertical shoot 'em up. Plays very similar to Salamander. So yeah, so that's on the MSX, and now moving on to the Famicom. So on the Famicom, again in no particular order. I did say I was going to rearrange this before I started filming, but it still didn't work out right. So anyway, starting off with the original Twin B for the Famicom. Put that there. Twin B2. Now this is, there's 3 in the series, and this is the most expensive one. Now I got this not too long ago for just under £60. Loose cart. Box will set you back about 100. I mean, just go for silly money. They really do. Fantastic game. Now this is actually a free-player game. I don't know if you can see that. There's the blue and the pink Twin beam, but there you can see a green one. That is a free-player game. I do believe it's vertical and horizontal. So yeah, great game. And of course, finally, Twin B 3. Now this went back to 2-player and vertical. So yeah, Twin B. Next up, we've got Gradius or Nemesis. Just writing on the back. Gradius 2. Great port of the arcade. And here we got Salamander, or as it's known in lost my train of thought there. In the UK or in the United States, Life Force. Really funky transparent cart. Very good game. 2 players. And finally, no, actually, in the series that is, Parodius. This is obviously a parody to the Nemesis series. That went on to spawn its own sequels. Nice little game, but I did mention in my previous video I do prefer the Game Boy version. Now another great game. I may try and put some game footage of this because it's a great game, and that is Crisis Force. This was one of the late to the Famicom's life, and sadly didn't do too well because it's a great game, but unfortunately it came out at a time when the Super Famicom had already just been released, so it was overlooked. I'll try and put some game footage and show you guys. And I got this pricey as well. I got this for again, I paid just under £60 for it. Box copy can go for about 100 also. But I'm just pleased just to get. I'm happy with just a cart. A bots game for the Famicom, and that is, it's a shoot 'em up puzzly sort of, and that's Quarf. Better shoot 'em up in Tetris. I'll show you guys anyway. It's a great little game. I'd love to get the MSX version, but this I got for just under £10 plus £2 postage. But the MSX goes for about 100, and I've seen it go for about 185. Bots complete. I've seen loose carts go for about 90 to 100. It's ludicrous. So whether I will end up getting a copy, who knows? But it's a great little game. Another bots game, Dragon Spirit. You know Dragon Spirit. Fantastic vertical shoot 'em up. Yeah, I boxed them complete, so that got that for just under a tenner also. Nice and cheap and cheerful. And final game is on the Famicom, Insector X. Now this is the arcade version, because it's also available on the Mega Drive, where the Mega Drive version is a completely different game. I don't know if you can see that, because I've got it in this little protective bag, but there we go. Fantastic little port. I've also got these on compilations on the Xbox or PlayStation 2. But really pleased to get that. That I paid, including postage, £40. Very pricey. I've only seen it come up a couple of times. I've not even seen a box copy come up. So pleased with that anyhow. So yeah, and I thought I'd just quickly show you some Game Boy games. Showed you on the Famicom. They're all on, yeah, they're all on the Famicom anyway. But these are the Game Boy versions. First up is Quarf. They're all boxed and complete. Lovely condition. Under a tenner. Got this about a year ago. Copied it. Proteus. I've had this since it was released back in the day. It's been with me ever since. Fantastic. As I've mentioned, I do prefer this to the Famicom version. I actually did a quick gameplay of it in my previous video. I've had that since release. Also since release, Twin B. You just gotta love these covers. They are fantastic. If I showed you a bit of box form there. There you go. So some screenshots on the back. Very tricky to play on the Game Boy due to its limitation in colour, but still a fun game. Another game that I've had since release, Nemesis. Fantastic game on the Game Boy. I don't know how many times I've completed this. Fantastic game. I'd go as far as to say I actually prefer this to the NES version also. But that since release, so it would have been about. So I got it from Chicana in London. Probably would have paid about £29 for it, £29 back in the day. Pricey back then. And of course, the sequel. Nemesis 2. Box form there, and I haven't shown you all of them, but just give you an idea. But just gotta love the artwork for these. Again, has since back in the day would have paid £29 because I know Game Boy games back in Chicana back in the day they would have been pricey. They were paying like £35 maybe for them. So on to the Super Famicom, and I've only just got the one boxed, and that's my favourite shoot 'em up on the Famicom by Konami, and that is Axelay. Fantastic game. Probably my reason for getting a Famicom back in the day. It's a great shoot 'em up. Vertical and horizontal stages. You've got to love the mode 7 to this. It's just fantastic. It's not my original copy, but I've had this for quite some time now. Probably since 2001. So yeah, that's my only boxed. Well, I do have others, but my only boxed shoot 'em up game for the Famicom, Super Famicom. So loose, I have. Again, no particular order. Darius Twin. Not a big fan of the Darius series, but it's still a great game. Just put that there. I'm running out of space here. Just put that down there. Next up, Super R-Type. I did originally, no, I did actually get R-Type free. Lost in the post. Got a refund, but I never got it again. Don't know why, but that's one I do need to get still. Thunder Spirits, which is basically Thunder Force, bit of Thunder Force 4, I think. So yeah. Excuse me. Proteus. Great port. Got Super EDF. That's good. It's alright. Horizontal shoot 'em up. I got them all pretty cheap, about under £15 each. Area 88, or as it's known in the US or UK, in Europe, UN Squadron. Now, Area 88 is obviously based off a manga and a comic. that I do have the comic and the series. Fantastic, it is. Sort of Top Gun, really, in manga. And finally, on the Famicom, I believe that is it. On the Famicom, Grade is Free. Fantastic game on the Super Famicom. A lot of slowdown, but not off-putting. Still fun to play. So yeah, those are the Famicom. So moving on to now the Mega Drive. No particular order. Thunder Force 4. Screenshots on the back. Excellent shoot 'em up. Put it down here for a sec. Next up, Atomic Robo Kid. Played this a couple times in the arcade back in the day. Fantastic game. I would like to also get the PC Engine version. They are all, if you guys want to see them boxed and complete. The Force 4 there. Next up, Darius 2. That's the complete. Some screenshots there on the back. An official game. I would like to get the Japanese version at some stage. For the time being, I've got the official version, and that is Super Fantasy Zone. Box complete. Tassujin. Not a bad game. It is hard though, but you know, it's Truxton in the UK. There is a Tassujin 2 on the PC Engine, but that, again, that goes. I've seen that go for about 225. I think I'll be getting that anytime soon. Game I should like playing a lot back in the day. I still do actually. I played a lot back in the day. That is Rip Rush. Just a couple of screenshots there. You can see that. It's a great game. I actually do like this game. It's got a great soundtrack. I do like the soundtrack to this game. Next up is a game called Arrow Flash. I did play this back in the day. I actually actually some screenshots there. You just turn into a robot in a ship, or a ship. Sorry about that there. I didn't own this game back in the day, but I did. There was some video club at the time where I could hire out games, and Aeroflash was one of them. Next up, I'd class this as a shoot 'em up actually. In fact, these two I would. Although they're not ships, they're you basically a knight of some sort, but it plays like a shoot 'em up. First one is by Technosoft, which plays very much like the Thunder Force series, but in vertical. But instead of a ship, you're a human, and that is Elemental Master. It's a great game. It's better class it as a shoot 'em up. But then so would be Mercs, Commando, Gunsmoke, and the other one is Underling. This is also available on the MSX, but it goes for a fair bit on the MSX. And the MSX version is actually a disc version. Of course, Mega Drive, it's a cartridge. Now, this, I paid £50 for it back in the day. I can't remember if it was Chicano or another, or was it Ace video game store in Covent Garden, not Carnaby Street. I think it was, but yeah, they're great games, excellent games. I do still class them as a shoot 'em up. Next up, Thunder Force 3. Sorry if I'm rushing it, but I'm just, you know, this video would be well and truly long if I just describe every single game, what they're like and how they play, and I'm sure most of you will know what these games are already by now anyway. So, Heavy Unit. Does show its age, but this has been with me since I've got it back in the day. So it's so aged with me really, like an old friend. Love this game. I played this first time I played this game. It was in the was in an arcade. Well, it wasn't actually. It wasn't in an arcade. It was so sort of tavern where we went to in Sheerness, in the Isle of Chappie. It was the first time I played Heavy Unit. Loved it. As soon as I found out it came out on the Mega Drive, I just had to have it. Oh, God, I forgot what it's called now. Aero Blasters. Fantastic game of the arcade. This is a sort of joint Namco Kaneko. In the arcade, it's actually called Air Buster. But it's a fantastic game. 2-player, horizontal. Love this game. I even it's got an excellent soundtrack. I actually bought the arcade soundtracks. Just excellent soundtrack. Great game. Combination. Next up is definitely my favourite. If anyone's already known me by now, will know what this game is. It's my favourite shoot 'em up on the Mega Drive, without a doubt, and that is Gyara's. Love this game. Fantastic. Plays all the time. Still play it today. Either on the actual Mega Drive or on emulation. Paid £40 back in the day. Got it from Carnaby Street and Covent Garden. It's also the first time where I first saw the Neo Geo. Next up, Raiden. Box and complete. I would show you Gyara's, but it's sort of packaged up to keep it nice and clean. And Insector X that I mentioned earlier on the Famicom. Completely different game on the Mega Drive. The Famicom's all the cutiness, and they've completely changed it on the Mega Drive using sort of mech robot insects. Still a great game. And it's box complete. Next up, Hellfire. Again, box complete. Some of them do show their age, but they've been with me ever since. So they've just got history to them. So as you can see, the manual there's got a little mouldy there. But to me, I'm not bothered at all because it's they've been with me all this time. As I said, it's all history there, really. Ryan. Crying, or as it's known in the UK and US, the Biohazard, I believe. Just the one screenshot says, so I don't know if you're gonna make it out. But a great game. Not the greatest, but it is fun to play. Forgotten Worlds. Some great artwork. Just gotta love the Japanese artwork. Philios. This was actually the one of the first games that I got when I got my Mega Drive back in the day. I think, could be wrong. Came out in 90. It does say 1998. 1990. Yeah, about right. Mega Drive came out in 89 in Japan. So yeah, as you can see, Boston Complete. I do like this game. Love the artwork. Actually, to be honest, what drew me into this game was more the artwork than anything else. But then I did like the game. Sort of a dragon spirit with a horse. And the final shoot 'em up on the Mega Drive is actually by EA, and that is Battle Squadron. Love this game. Balls hard. I do love this game though. Played it loads back in the day, also on the Amiga. It is complete. And I even purchased it on Android about a year ago or so. Excellent game. Love the soundtrack. So that's on the Mega Drive. So moving on to the Mega CD actually. Just quickly show you those. There's only 4 in total. First up is KO Flying Squadron. It's screenshot there. Horizontal shoot 'em up. It is complete. Doesn't have the spine card, but then like Mark said in his video, I'm not too fussed with the spine cards as long as you got the game. That's the main thing, really, isn't it? So, oh god, I'm running out of space here. Next up, Sylphied. This is the original copy that I had from back in the day. Actually, this actually belonged to a friend of mine. I do think it has got the spine card. No, it doesn't. I thought it did. Because this actually belonged to a friend of mine, and he was well good at looking after his stuff. But yeah, I've had this since back in the day. That was actually his copy, and would you believe he paid? We got it at Ace Games in just off Regent Street on Carnaby Street. He paid £80 for that back in the day when it was released. £80. But well, the greatest game, but it is a good game. Next up is Soulfeast. Oh, did I show you the back? I'll show you the back to that. If you can see that. And Soulfeast. This was packaged as when the official Mega CD came out. It was packaged. It's the package with 7 games when it was officially released. I think this was one. This was one of them. Of course, this is the Japanese version. And the final one is Robert Lessie. Fantastic game by Compile. Boxed and complete. Actually, all these Mega CD games actually belongs to my friend. Actually belongs to my friend, and he sort of passed them over to me. He no longer wanted them, and just passed them over to me. So that was really cool of him. Hope this isn't dragging on too long. So we move on to the PC Engine then, shall we? It's quite a bit. Same Dragon. Love this in the arcade. Played it a few times in the arcade. Not a bad Amiga port. A little flickery on the PC Engine, but still a great game. It is boxed and complete. No screenshots in the back. Dragon Spirit. Great port on the PC Engine, and its sequel, Dragon Saber. Tiger Henny. Just quickly show the PC Engine because not too long. Wasn't too long ago that I actually showed you PC Engine collection. So Salamander, Space Arrow, class that as a shoot 'em up. I think so. Gradius, Nemesis, Marumba, which is a QT horizontal shoot 'em up. Very plain, basic, but still fun. Chocotansin, Tyson, basically Cloudmaster. There is some screenshots on the back. Fantastic game. Love this game. There is an MSX version, but it's on disc. It's for the MSX2, and it does go for a fair bit. I also have it on the Master System, but I would also like to get the Famicom version. Love that game, but you see the PC Engine is the actually no, I wouldn't say it was the best version because there is one on the FM Towns and the Sharp X6800 computer. I take it they're the best versions. Showed you on the Mega Drive, showing you on the PC Engine now, and that's Aero Blasters. So just as good on the PC Engine as it is on the Mega Drive. Soldier Blade, last in the series, and a very good one it is. Goes for a fair bit, about £40–50 on eBay. Definitely worth checking out. Toilet Kids. A game about shit, really, but it's a great game. Plot to the story really is this little kid wakes up during the night to do a crap, falls into the toilet, and enters this weird, crazy world that involves shit. It's a vertical shooter, pricey to get hold of on eBay. I paid, including postage, £70, but I always wanted this game, and I've got it. Chuffed to bits. Again, showed you on the Mega Drive, I'm going to show you on a PC Engine, and that's Heavy Unit. Toy Shop Boys, vertical shooter. Sort of reminds you of a QT version of Raiden, really, but with toys. Nice little shooter. Fantasy Zone. Image Fight. Would love to get it on the Saturn. It comes packed with X Multiply. Another good IRM shoot 'em up. But the cheapest I've seen it on eBay, it goes for about £173. But I would love to get it. Game that made me get a PC Engine back in the day, and that is Gunhead. Fortunately, this is not the original case. I must have lost it during the move, but eventually I would like to look out for a proper box version. Game I've not played too much, and that is Paranoia. Side-scrolling shoot 'em up, horizontal. Played loads back in the day. Love it to bits. Mr. Heli by Irem. Wasn't a big fan of this game back in the day, but over the years sort of grown to like it. And that is Xevious. I'd like to get it on the PlayStation because I know that Mark has a copy. Twin B. Screenshots on the back. Great little game there. Ordine, game I played quite a bit in the arcade. Fantastic little two-player horizontal shooter, QT. Another QT game with Balls Hard as well is Rabio Lipos. So you can see your character there. You're a girl on a sort of mechanised Mechanoid rabbit. Galaga 88, fun game. Sort of label wearing off there, but this is my original copy from back in the day. Again, it just has history to it, so it doesn't bother me at all. Parodius. Did a gameplay of this on my previous video. Love it. W Ring. Pricey game. Seems to go for about 45 on eBay. Great little horizontal shoot 'em up. And the final kart game that I got on the PC Engine is Final Soldier. I did have Star Soldier, but it was a loose kart, so I traded it, I believe, with Electric Adventures. So I would like to get a box copy eventually. No hurry, don't. Other games I'd like to get first. So, moving on to the CD games on the PC Engine. Again, no particular order. PC, is it Denjin? Erzonk? No, PC Kids, PC Genjin. I think it's Denjin. PC Denjin, which is Erzonk. You can see some screenshots there. Sorry about the glare. Fantastic little horizontal shoot 'em up. Very cutie. There is a prequel to this on Kart, which I should be in the post because I did get not too long ago. Next game, another cutie horizontal shoot 'em up, and it's a game called Eldis. Nice funky cover there. Not the greatest, but it's fun nonetheless. Can get pretty, you know, quite cheap to get hold of, about £20, if not less. And these next two, pronouncing is going to be Shawniki or there we go. Translates, I don't know if this one is Super Big Brother, Shawniki or Super Shawniki. You can see the weird artwork. I always get confused which one is the first or the second. Yes. Strange covers. There is his name screenshot. But horizontal shoot 'em up. Completely whacked up sort of game, but it is a good game. It's Boston, no, it's Boston complete. I do believe there's one on the PSP not too long ago. Gates of Thunder, fantastic shoot 'em up. Goes for a fair bit, not too much. Looking at £30–40. Great shoot 'em up. Well worth tracking down. It's got an awesome rocky soundtrack. I do believe it's the sequel, Winds of Thunder. Also available on the Mega CD, which I do have, but it's not a backup. It's an actual. Oh God, I forgot what it is now. It's a promo copy that because I had a friend of mine who owned the Mega CD. He actually worked at Sega back in the day, and he used to test these games out. And they were their actual original games, but didn't have the actual proper labelling. So I got Winds of Thunder, which is also known as Lords of Thunder, I believe, on the Mega CD. Got it up there somewhere. Next up, Cotton. Great little game there. Would like to get the eventually the the two versions on the Sega Saturn. They do go for a fair bit, but they are great games. Medical Shooter Star Parodia, which is sort of parody to the Gunhead series, much like Parodia has done with Nemesis. Excellent game. Again, not too pricey. Looking at £30–40. Gradius 2 Gopher. Fantastic port of the arcade. Look at that. Beauty. I showed you on the Mega Drive. I'm going to show you on the PC Engine, and that is Hellfire. Only difference being it's got some cinema cutscenes and it's got an awesome soundtrack to it. Very rocky. Forgotten Worlds. Again, I do believe it's got some little cinematic scenes in between stages. And I did own this back in the day on the Mega Drive. I had the Japanese version, disappeared somehow. I've actually got the official version, but I wasn't too keen on the 60–50 Hertz strength, because obviously the power copies being with the borders and all that. So I think I don't know who I traded it with, but I eventually would like to get the Japanese version on the Mega Drive, but it just does go about £40–50, and that is zeroing. It's a great game. I did play this a couple of times in the arcade. I did spend quite a bit in the arcade back in the day. It's my hangout point, just loved it. And recently picked up Sophia. This is actually a reproduction CD, but beautifully done. It's like having the original, because the original obviously goes for about, probably mentioned in the previous video, I've seen mint copies go for about £300–400. It's a fantastic game. And of course, Blue Sapphire, as I call it. Was it called Sapphire Blue? There is a proper Japanese to it, but I've always known it as Blue Sapphire. Fantastic game. One of the last games on the PC Engine CD. I don't know if you can see some screenshots there. It's a great game. Again, this is also a reproduction copy, but beautifully done, just like having the original. And the final PC Engine game on CD is one that never got released, and that is Super Space Fantasy Zone, which is basically Fantasy Zone done in same sort of style as Space Harrier. It's a great little game. Has a few faults to it, but really is a speciality to own the game, because uncompleted versions was released back in 2000, but they were going for silly money. One point I saw someone selling it for £1,000, and then a few years later, in fact, the game did get completed, and this is the completed version, and I only picked this up for £30. So I'm really pleased to have this. This really is a rare game. Not many were made. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So moving on to the Sega Saturn, and just the one game only, but I'm going to change that because I've got a couple on the way. So I really would like to start getting some of these Japanese Sega Saturn shoot 'em ups. But they really do go for silly money. But there's a couple I'd like to get, and hopefully, like as I mentioned before, if all goes well, I will be getting them early next year. But for the time being, the only one that I do have is Twin B Deluxe pack, which has got the first and second, I believe. It is Boston complete, even has a spike guard. Now this I actually bought off X-File 2708 a few years ago for just, it was about £10 including postage. Very pleased with that. As I said, I do got a couple on the way, so I really would like to build up my shoot 'em ups on the Sega Saturn. Don't want to go too crazy though. I think I've got enough here to last me a lifetime. So on to the PlayStation again. Not many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. 2 Japanese. First up is Iron Hander. I've had this since back in the day. And also Parodius, the Deluxe pack, which includes 1 and 2 of course. Next up is Viewpoint. Obviously not as good as the Neo Geo version, but I do not have a Neo Geo, so this will have to do for the time being. Maybe next year I might look into getting one. It's got a couple of awesome shooters there on that system also. I did used to play back in the day at Covent Garden when I first saw the Neo Geo. Next up, R-Type Delta. Not a bad game. Running out of space here. Game I've had since back in the day. Loved it. Really pleased to get this. To have it. That is the Raiden Project. It's the PAL version. PAL version does go for a fair bit on eBay. Released, distributed by Ocean. It's got one Raiden 1 and 2. Really pleased to have that, and it's in lovely condition. I kept it, looked after it all this time. And the last one, again by Ocean, but distributed by Ocean and developed by Team 17, and that is X2. Balls hard shoot 'em up, vertical shoot 'em up, horizontal shoot 'em up. Balls hard. It's got a great trancey soundtrack. It's just so bloody hard. But it's part of my shoot 'em up collection. So that's the PlayStation. So to move on to the Dreamcast. Power version of Gigawing. Would like to get Gigawing 2 eventually. I've got quite a few backup copies of all other shoot 'em ups on the Dreamcast, but this is the original one I've got. Great game. Also I've got couple of original here actually. Is it Fast Striker? Cool. The hell bullet there. Is it Fire Striker or Fast Striker? You can see screenshots on the back. If you can see, oh God, all this is in the bloody way. See that hell bullet there. It's not a bad game. Not real big into the hell bullet games. I prefer the more traditional shoot 'em ups, like from the 90s and the early 2000s. And you've got Last Hope, Pink Bullets. Pink Bullets, due to the original version, the bullets were too small, you couldn't hardly see them, so they did another version. Where it would be easier to see the bullets, but it's still a tough shoot 'em up. This box is complete. And the final one, not so much of a shoot 'em up, but it is sort of like Space Out really, and that is Rainbow Cotton, Japanese version. It is complete with its spine card. Actually, the Dreamcast spine card don't really look that fancy, to be honest, compared to the Sega Saturn. But great game if you like Space Harrier, and obviously the Cotton series is a great series. There is Cotton, is it Paranoia on the Mega Drive? I forgot what it's called now. It goes for a fair bit on eBay. Doesn't come up too often either. I've seen it go for about £200, £250 even. So that's on the Dreamcast. Now moving on to the PlayStation 2, and nearly there. Just a few more to show you. Now for me, what started it all? Space Invaders, the anniversary. Had to have this. This was where love of Shoot 'em Up came from. So it had to be in the collection. Steel Dragon. It's got two versions, the original arcade version and also a touched up version. This is Sylphied, Lost Planet. These ones can get, can be bought fairly cheap, under a tenner. Now, there's also an MSX version. Obviously, there's the Mega CD version. There's PS2 version. There's one on the Xbox 360, but didn't like that one at all. It's all too tactical for me, really. Dragon Blaze. Let's actually see that. This box is complete. There's the Gunbird Special Edition. I think this is as good as the Dreamcast version. I think there's some issues with it, or things missing, but I do have it backed up on the Dreamcast, so I'm not too fast really. Next up is 12 Stag by Taito. Not a bad game, vertical shooter, definitely worth checking out. Can be bought for under a tenner also. Official. And finally, R-Type vinyl. Is boxed and complete, lovely condition, screenshots on the back. It's R-Type. All modernised. So finally, onto the Xbox 360. Just the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of them being Japanese region free. There's a couple more I'd like to get that Mark had in his video, but no hurry for them. First up, Mushy Mushy Pork and Pink Sweets. I forgot how to pronounce this one, but I may put it down below for you to see. Fantastic game. I should have prepared myself to pronounce it, but I forgot. But it's a great game. This I paid, Mushy Mushy I paid 65 for, about a couple of years ago. This one I paid 30. Next up is Death Smiles, official version. It is boxing complete, comes with this soundtrack. I've got 3 minutes left on the camera. I'm try to be quick now. Under the Feet HD. There is a Dreamcast version to this. Again, I do have it backed up, so this will do for me quite, you know, no problem at all there. Akai Katana. Again, boxed and complete. I do believe, no soundtrack. You see screenshots there. 2 minutes. Could be quick. Did I show screenshots of Under the Feet? And the final game, none other than Don Don Pachi Resurrection, Special Edition, I believe, Deluxe Edition. You can see that, just under a minute left to go, and running out of memory. There you go, that was my shoot 'em up collection. Hope I haven't bored you with all that, and yeah, feel free to have a go and show us the shoot 'em ups that you have in your collection. And as for me, I do have some pickups, some packages in the post to come. So mostly there's a couple there's some Spectrum games, some PC Engine games, and that will be it for the time being, because I am saving up for some games for the Saturn for Christmas, and of course the unrelated stuff coming up to Christmas. Do spend a bit there. So yeah, so that's it. So until the next time, bye for now, and take care.